Great memories to Chelsea and Curtis regarding their fantastic holiday at McLeese Lake, British Columbia, 2003. Here we go.
2003. Now, we were just giving a little rundown on our activities for the last 3 days, and we're just trying to catch up on our journal.
Good for posterity.
We got to bed late that first night, but then the next morning, I'm going to ask Chelsea to remember what we did. You see, I can't remember half of these things, but she did remember that Sandra went with us on a walk way down Shady Lane, wasn't it? And we took the dogs with us. And how many of us went?
Just the three of us, and she had her digital
Oh,
camera.
yeah, she had her digital camera with her, and she took a whole lot of pictures down there at Shady Lane and WP. And she was happy to get them because she can put those pictures on a 3.5-inch floppy disk, and then she claims that she has a girlfriend that puts them on the internet for her. And in a few days, we will be able to see them under a special heading of July 03, 04, 05. So that's going to be something to look forward to. But after we came back from WP, I think we did a whole lot of things. We filled in our time talking to Sandra, and we did go and get a couple of boxes of wood in for Florence. I think we gave her 3 or 4 boxes ahead, so that she could start the fires in the morning. And then towards noon, we had to get lined up, and Sandra got ready, and we packed her bag in, and I took her all the way in to the airport. I think we got her, oh yes, that's right, Curtis came with us, that's right, and he stayed in the car. He came into the airport too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And we sat around there until Sandra finally got on the plane. And it was a pleasant day. Then we went downtown to Staples, mainly because we had to send this picture of the house for sale with 3 photos on it to Kelly. And I arranged to get it shipped to him by some kind of email. And they said they could do it. Now, I don't know where I lost this day, but we did that much. And then another day, we went in to see Staples, and they said, oh, yes, it went, no problem. And then I paid $5.50 for it, and I left, 3 discs with them, because the girl there said that they could email the discs pictures as well. But you had to wait for David to come in because he was the expert. So I left the 3 discs, I came home, and then I phoned Kelly. And he said that the picture did definitely not come on his email. He checked everything, and it absolutely did not come. So I had to phone Staples back and tell them that it did not work. And David was there, so he said, I'll definitely send the 3 discs today, and you bring in the receipt, and we'll make sure that this big picture, bring the big picture back again. And he said, I'll make sure it goes this time. So I arranged to take it in on Friday. And we'll get that organized and get those things sent away for sure. Now we have to listen to this clock strike about 7 bells. No, it's striking 9 bells. Well, we just lost another 2 hours. The reason was that we were in Quesnel today, and Florence bought 2 of the loveliest pantsuits in the whole world. She got one of these crinkly ones, dark navy blue, and it's got a beautiful top with ring buttons, just out of this world. And she also got a beautiful pink one with a design on the bottom. A jacket with a design on the bottom, and it's all light pink. Just fabulous clothing. And she showed Chelsea all over Quesnel, and she had a great time, she says. They met us after the pool. Curtis and I spent about an hour and a half in the pool in Quesnel. We really enjoyed it in there. Went in the sauna a couple of times, went in the jacuzzi a couple of times. And then we met Florence at the pool, I think it was. And I drove up to the Extra Foods, and then we picked up those pictures. That's right. I left the 110 film in there, and they did it within an hour. So I picked up the pictures, and they turned out pretty good. They were pictures of us sitting on the throne down there at the WP, Wilderness Paradise. And I even got Curtis to put a Pepsodent smile on. He was very cooperative. And he showed us his teeth, and he's got a smile on his face for the first time in history. Now, we're going to get more pictures of him with a smile. And he looks good on there.
I want a picture.
And he wants some more pictures.
I want to get a picture of myself holding one of the cats.
Oh, yeah, he loves these cats. In fact, he's been down on the floor playing with Monty, isn't this? No, this is Jared he's playing with. This is the one that talks too much. And you know why Jared's here, don't you? Because it's after 8 o'clock, and he wants to go down to bed. So I have to take a break on this record because it's time for Jared to go to bed. Here we go. Can't very well put a lot more on this tape when we brought you up to date. I mean, we're right up to this minute now. I just put the two kiddies down. They came in. It's 9 o'clock. It's past their bedtime, but they came in, and I put them down in their kitty motel downstairs. Made sure they had a little food. Turned on the nightlight, and they're away for the night. Now, Curtis doesn't know why we can't continue this tape.
Yeah, because
Oh, that's it. He wanted us to go in and start recording music. Now, what he doesn't realize is this. And I have to teach him a few things about me.
I should have started early.
I go to bed at 9 to 9:30. And that's because I have to get enough sleep. Because I get up at 6. I don't get up like he does around 8 or 9. He's been getting up at 8 o'clock, I admit. He's been doing pretty well. 7 or 8. I got him up at 7. Had to call him 3 times, but I got him up at 7 this morning. And he comes down and he has fruit with me. And we chop it all up exactly quarter-inch size.
Well, in this case.
And we put also honeydew melon and cantaloupe melon and apples and bananas and Saskatoons all in our fruit. And that fruit is what gives us energy all day. And then we top it off with some beautiful 9-grain cereal, which we boil up to a gruel. And then we pour it over the fruit just to warm the fruit. And we eat that with a little bit of brown sugar, which gives it a caramelized taste. And we love it. So we've been having a bowl of that every morning, and I'm trying to get him to know this routine because someday he might have to look after himself, and he might have to chop his own fruit.
Or I'll have my mom.
Or he thinks he's going to have his mom and dad, or maybe he's going to hire a housemaid or something. I don't know, but the point is, yeah, he doesn't want to cut his fingers. So anyway, he's got the idea that you have to chop the fruit properly. You have to get some porridge on it so that it warms it up, and then you have to have some sugar on it so that it's palatable. Now, that's a lot better than eating one apple or some one orange. That stuff doesn't go.
Or those stupidly cold cereals.
Or just have cold cereal. That's no good. Cornflakes doesn't have any nutritional value anyway. So anyway, what I'm saying is that Curtis is learning a few routines here, and if he ever lives with me, he knows he has to have his fruit in the morning, fruit in the evening, and fruit at lunch and time. Now, I'm not going to sing a song with him tonight because we have to do that tomorrow or the next night when we have lots of energy.
We did a very great rendition of that.
But we're going to sing it just quickly. Fruit in the morning, fruit in the evening, fruit at luncheon time. Lots of fresh fruit salad will keep you right in line.
Grandma's pro-
Now, a couple of days have gone by, and this happens to be Saturday. Saturday, August the 2nd, I think, isn't it?
Wow, it's August already?
Yeah, it's August already. And this is just to remind us that Curtis has been hounding me to play a little music with him because I do have a little piano keyboard upstairs, which he plays good. And I've got a guitar, and I think if we got the two of them down here in our hideaway, in a quiet place. See, we have a special hideaway down in the basement of this house. And the reason we're here at the moment is because it's the coldest place in the house.
Yeah,
it's right.
Fan in there.
Yeah, we got a fan going, and we got the cement wall to the north, and we're down in the ground here, and it's cool. And we do sleep well here. But anyway, we're going to get our instruments and make a recording, and he says it's mainly because he promised to send some little recording or music to Brian Wickeninish. Is that it?
Wicknick. Yeah.
Oh, Wicknick, right. And so that's to remind us we have to do that. But for the moment, we have to just put on the record here that we got up this morning, 8 to 9 o'clock, and by that time, Florence had gone over to the neighbor's place and with Chelsea, and they had picked raspberries and black currants, buckets full of them, and they had also watered the cherry tomatoes and did a lot of other watering over there because the neighbors have gone up to Alaska, a place called it's near Stewart, but it's actually in Alaska. Starts with an H, I think. But they've gone away, and we have to water their plants. Now, after that, we had a great breakfast of fruit. We chopped up our fruit a 1/4-inch size, and we had not only honeydew, but cantaloupe and apples, and Saskatoon berries, big fat ones, and bananas. And, of course, on top of that lovely bowl of fruit, we put a 9-grain cereal, wheat, oats, barley, and a whole bunch of stuff, even some ground flax. But the main ingredient was cream of wheat. Now, with lots of cream of wheat, it looks like you got cream on your fruit. And, of course, we make it into a gruel, which is kind of runny. And as you pour it on, it hugs all the fruit and makes it nice and warm.
Yeah.
And that beautiful fresh fruit goes down into our tummies, and it gives us energy. Starts with a big E.
Totally.
And then we have lots of energy all day. So after we had our breakfast, what did we do after that? Do you remember?
We had that 5 or 6 step routine.
Oh, yeah, we always go through the routine. Actually, we do that a little before breakfast. We get up in the morning, wash our face and our hair, scrub it, and even massage the head so we get lots of the blood vessels working, and then we can think better.
Not so bold after all.
No, well, when we get lots of massage on our head, we can
you're
think
growing
better.
a lot of hair up there.
Well, that's because I eat lots of fruit and I get lots of exercise.
Yeah.
So anyway, you get that all done, and then we shaved. Remember, we both shaved with that nice Phillips razor.
Oh, I can't wait to use that at home.
Yeah, it makes it so easy. And then we look sort of half civilized. Of course, we brush our hair with that nice Blue Point brush.
Yeah.
That's nice. I'm going to get Curtis one of those next time we go to the buck or two shop. They only cost $1 or $2. And then after we did all that, we swang on the swing a bit, and then we waited, and it seems to me that Florence might have suggested that we go into town, and there were 3 or 4 things we were supposed to do in there.
Yeah.
What was it? We were going to Staples? Oh, yeah, we went to the bus depot first.
Yeah, 'cause we got to get our darn tickets home.
Yeah, and you had to buy them 3 days ahead.
I'm so mad about that, man.
And if it's one adult and one student, you get it for $84. It's actually $72 plus $16, and it comes up to $84. So we took Chelsea in there, and she bought that ticket with no trouble at all. She just used the number that her dad gave her from his credit card, and they accepted the number, and they sold her the tickets. So she now has them in hand, and she feels better. Then we went to Staples, and we parked up on the 2nd floor of Zeller's parking lot because it was nice and cool for Curtis. He waited in the car while we went down to Staples, and we had a lot of things to do. We had to make a whole bunch of copies of the pedigrees of our purebred Schnauzer puppies. We had 7 of those, and I made the whole bunch of them in light colored, maybe a yellowish cardboard, cardstock, and then we viewed the pictures. Now, my daughter Sandra had been up here a few days ago when she brought Curtis and Chelsea up, and she took 141 pictures of our house and our family, and she had them all on a digital camera. It's a Sony with the 3.5-inch floppy that slipped out. Now, I couldn't get to see the pictures on my computer, but I asked the guy at Staples to put it on his, and the girl that was pinch hitting, she said, sure, I can do that. So she showed me the pictures, and I was able to view a whole lot of them. And I could see full screen pictures, and they were good. And I think it said MISV or something like on them. So that they're a type of viewer production that's built into a Windows 98. And then we got all the pictures we got all the photocopies made that we wanted, and we paid for the pictures, and we walked back to the parking lot. And then we went downtown. We drove downtown. We were going somewhere. Where was it?
Probably to shop again.
No, we went down to
where Subway
somewhere and went to Subway. And we went in and had a beautiful meal. Curtis always likes this 4-inch round with seafood and crab.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah, and then we had that, and he was smart. He took in his nice drink, which we had. It was made out of rhubarb juice.
I want to take some of that home with me, like a few gallons worth.
Yeah, it was rhubarb juice mixed with cream soda. Pretty nice drink.
I loved both, and they make a very good combination.
Yeah, and so I actually had my specialty, which was a cold cut trio, turkey, ham, and bologna, and then I had all kinds of onions and tomatoes and pickles, and then I had them put on a couple of strips of this great Dijon horseradish sauce, and in the sauce I lay a bunch of olives.
Oh yeah.
Sort of stick them in the sauce.
Yeah.
And then of course we chewed on that for about half an hour, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because I had to chew each bite 60 times or something like that.
Yeah.
And then when I got that down, we decided to go over to the Scotia Bank to make a payment on a Visa, but the dumb bank wasn't open.
They don't open on weekends.
So anyway, I put the check back in my pocket, and then we were driving along Oliver Street, and I said, I think we'll drop in here to Sight and Sound. They are an advanced sort of a company, and we left Curtis in the car for a minute or two, and Chelsea and I went in, and you'd be surprised what that expert in there. You see, first I asked for the computer expert, and there's 3 or 4 of them there, and one of them said, well, I'll qualify. So anyway, he told us that, number one, I could view these 3.5-inch floppies on my Windows 95 if I simply added a little program called iExplore.
Wow.
And he said, bring your computer tower down here and I'll add it for you. How much?
Cool.
He says, nothing. I won't charge you anything. I'll just put it in for you.
That is really cool.
I thought it was good too myself. So anyway, the next thing I did was say, okay, that sounds good. I'm going to bring it down. Because I want to be able to look at these photos all the time at home rather than bringing them down to Staples. And then I just happened to say, when I was down in Mesa, my son Douglas and I, we went into a big electronics store, and they had these nice little cameras there called a Sony Handycam.
Yeah.
And he said, sure, we got them here. Come on over here, I'll show you. So he showed us 2 different models. They are a terrific modern camera. They're only half the size of a camcorder. And they do everything, and they got a thing you can connect, a little wire you connect into your TV, and you can have all your photographs right on TV.
That's really cool.
And then you can have your movie pictures right on TV.
Yeah.
You don't have to put it through anything. So I said, boy, that is a real fine machine.
Talk about 21st century technology.
That's right, and it's just this big. And it's got a slip-out thing. You can see all the picture you're taking at the time. You look at the whole picture. And so I said, boy, it's amazing that that's available. How much? And he said, well, they're $999 for this model. And then for this little additional model, it's $11.99, but it's got a couple of features that are terrific. You can actually be taking a moving picture in Paris, and then when you see the Eiffel Tower, you push a button and you can take a still picture right in the middle of the movie.
Everyone's got to have one of those. I can't wait till they come down in price.
Yeah, and then you flip another switch and you go on with your movie, and you get your still pictures and your movies at the same time.
That is really bad.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Not bad, it's terrific.
Bad as in cool,
Oh, that cool. So anyway, I couldn't imagine this. And you know what? I remember looking at this same thing in Mesa with that electronic shop, but they didn't give us a whole big demonstration. And their prices were only $189 American.
Wow.
Isn't that low?
That's very good.
So I'm going to talk to your dad, Douglas, and I'm going to say, I want one of those. I'll save up the money, and I'm going to get one.
Maybe we should get one while we're at it.
Oh, you certainly should have had one a year
Because if
ago.
our thing is not working right, then we'd better upgrade.
Get the most modern scientific design and production. And I am going to get him to do that because Florence needs one of these. She is a fantastic photographer.
And videographer.
Videographer, right, and choreographer, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get one of those for her somehow. Might have to even use some of the credit on my various credit cards.
Yeah.
Because I got credit balances on most of them, see?
Yeah.
And that's what I plan to do. Now, after we did that, then I think we actually decided to come home, didn't we?
Yeah, of course, then we were getting very tired, so we thought we'd come home and take a snooze for 2 hours.
Oh, that's right. We got home around a little late. It was just about 10 or quarter to 3. And after we got home, we were smart. We walked around. Well, that's all right, because I led you around the right way.
Yeah.
You walked into the dogs the first time.
Yeah.
Now, I got you in the right door.
I walked into the doghouse.
Yeah, and the fact is that we came in and laid down, and we slept for 2 hours, or 2.5, because it's about 5:39 now.
Almost 5:40.
So that means that we have had a very productive day, useful day, and we've learned a whole lot of things. And now, because we make these plans ahead, we're going out to the Tai Lodge restaurant, Tai Lake Lodge restaurant, about 15 kilometers from here. They've got a cook out there named Claire, who is fantastic. And
That's
she
really cool.
has us booked in for 7 p.m. tonight, and I'm doing the ordering for you and me, and Chelsea wants to order for her grandmother.
That's cool.
As I thought it was pretty
That's
good,
really, I'm not very familiar with that kind of tactic. That's
but
pretty
she
cool.
wants to do that for Florence. So we're doing that because we think that BC is so enjoyable and in Technicolor, and now we have to taste the flavor.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to do that tonight. So then we'll mosey home a little after dark.
Yeah.
And won't that be a beautiful day?
Hopefully add something to this tape when we get back.
Oh, if we get back in time, we might get our instruments out, and that would really finish off the day, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. And who is this that's signing off?
Curtis Kinneard.
What's your middle name?
Lynn.
Why don't you say the whole name?
Curtis Lynn Kinneard.
Age?
20.
And this is George Everett Kinneard, age 75 and
Wow.
3/4.
Oh my gosh, you're about to have another one. That's
October, I got another birthday. So that's how it is
That's
in
kinda
the basement suite of our beautiful home here at McLeese Lake, BC.
1420.
Yes, 1420
Enright
Enright Road.
Lot
On
number
the
5599.
It's lot number 5599, yes. And this is the 2nd day of August, 2003. And this is Sunday, the 3rd day of August, 2003. And Curtis Kinneard and I are not going to church today because we have to have the most time we can get together.
Yeah, we would have. I would be reading right now in that wonderful book, A Marvelous Work and a Wonder, but I think I left my backpack in the car, and I think they took it.
To church with them.
So I'm gonna have to wait till they get home in 3
Oh no,
hours.
we're going to look around for that backpack. It might be around here somewhere.
Yeah.
So we'll take another look. And you know what? Where are you at in the Marvelous Work and a Wonder?
About the middle, I think.
Because we have another copy in Florence's library.
Wow, that's
So you
cool.
can use her copy.
But I like to use the bookmark and
Yeah, I know.
run it down
but anyway,
the page.
that's a very good thing for you to do on a Sunday. We have to keep Sunday reverent, and we have to do some scripture study.
Yeah.
And reading A Marvelous Work and a Wonder is like scripture study.
Yeah, it's got a lot of scripture references in it.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we're down here in the family room in the basement, and Florence has put on a beautiful fire in our Elmira fireplace. Actually, she got up at 6 o'clock. She got me up at 6:15. And at 6:19, I was over there at Eric Lammy's place watering the tomatoes,
Yeah.
because we agreed to look after his tomatoes in his greenhouse. They're 6 feet high, and they're
Wow.
beautiful cherry tomatoes.
Wow.
There are hundreds of them on each vine.
Wow.
And so they have to be watered. And, that's not something you can overlook.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we got over there, and with the 2 hoses, we watered the beets and the carrots and the melons and the peppers and the tomatoes. And he said, take all you want.
That's cool.
So tonight, we're probably going to have some potatoes out of his garden.
Wow.
Now, remember we had a terrific meal last night at the...
Oh, that's something I'll never forget. That was
at the Tyee Lake Lodge.
Yeah.
And I had some kind of tender chicken chunks smothered in ginger and garlic sauce.
Yeah.
And mushrooms and all kinds of stuff. It was just fantastic.
We shared the one entree.
Yeah, and you had prawns. Remember, we had 5 prawns.
Yeah.
We even bargained with Chelsea, and we got some of her tortellini for one of our prawns.
She couldn't finish it.
Yeah, actually, she admitted that she ordered a little too much. She had to have a $12 meal, and it was far more than she could eat. So she let us have a little of that, and Florence had a tenderloin on a skewer. It was about 7 or 8 inches long on little 1-inch chunks of tenderloin. And she said it was wonderful.
Yeah, it looked very good.
I personally think we had the best meal.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, we had a wonderful time out there from about 7 until 9 o'clock. And we drove home. It's about, 12 and 6 is 18 kilometers from our house.
So that, it took about half an hour.
Yeah, and it's not bad to put in that, shall we say, that little drive when you want to go out for dinner and you want to enjoy the dinner on a beautiful sun deck overlooking the lake.
It's very scenic.
Scenic, and then they had those skidoos out there, or sea-doos out there racing around on the lake, remember?
Yeah.
So we had what you would call a very pleasant and enjoyable evening meal.
We really did.
Now, you remember when we came home, we were halfway through that movie on Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Starring Cary Grant and 2 or 3 other great stars.
Catherine Hepburn, I
think. And remember we turned that on, and we had the fabulous enjoyment of watching the second half of that movie.
Yeah.
And it turned out so wonderful in the end.
Yeah.
Was it called An Affair to Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, now remember no, it wasn't called that. It's called Philadelphia.
Oh, wait, that's right.
Yeah,
An Affair to Remember was another one that we
have, and we haven't watched that
I was looking at the
titles.
The titles and the boxes.
Yeah, so we saw Philadelphia, and it was really good. It was a good movie, well done, no swear words, and no commercials.
Yeah.
Now, isn't that the way to enjoy a movie?
Yeah.
In your own home, in your living room. So we found out that that's the way we can enjoy life. And we're doing it today, because here we are with this lovely radiant heat coming out at our face. And we got 3 boxes of birch wood, and we got a little bit of bark, because I like putting bark in. It makes such a nice glow.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a few more pieces in because we want that to be glowing red.
Yeah.
Florence doesn't like to see that because she thinks it gets too hot.
Yeah.
But I know it's safe because it's inside the fireplace, you see?
Yeah, it goes up the little pipe there.
It goes up the chimneys, yeah, it doesn't hurt anything. So we're going to stop for a minute and do that. And, I just want to put on the record, though. Remember, we had such a lot of fun last night, and many jokes. We laughed our heads off.
Oh, yeah.
And remember, Florence told you that joke about make sure of when you get to heaven, don't step on a duck.
Yeah.
And you know what happens if you step on a duck. So you remember that forever now, that when you go home, one thing you do is don't step on a duck, and the other one is don't step on dynamite.
Yeah.
Because dynamite explodes.
She exploded in a shriek.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, our little puppy's name is Dynamite. And when you step on her toe, she lets you know.
Yeah.
So Curtis found that was kind of funny. And I don't think he's ever going to step on a duck, and I don't think he's ever going to step on dynamite.
Oh, no way.
So he's learned a lesson. Now, he's learning another lesson today. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it because he has various physical problems, but he has eaten enough. I know he's eaten enough by looking at his figure.
I'm going to have to work it all off when I get home.
Yeah, but you have eaten enough while you were here in the last 10 years, and you have enough stored fuel in there to last you for at least 2 meals.
Yeah.
And as I told you, this tape by Randall somebody, he says, you know, if you just fast for 2 meals, you're not going to die.
No.
As
It's
a matter
going
of
to
fact,
make you appreciate the third meal a whole lot more.
That's right. Now, I've learned that physically, that it's so good. When you're hungry, that third meal tastes great. And consequently, I make sure that I don't eat breakfast or lunch on Sundays. And then at 4 or 5 o'clock, when Florence puts that meal on the table, I'm just ready to eat.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, you can try that today if you want, because as I said, it is Fast Sunday, August the 3rd, and I don't have 1 drop of water, I don't have 1 grape, I don't have 1 chocolate bar, I don't have anything until after 4 o'clock.
Right.
Now, I don't know if you can do that, but I'm just telling you that if you do, your body will appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because your body will start to eat off itself a little bit, and that's when you get hunger pangs, you see?
Yeah.
And when you get a hunger pang, here's what I do. That reminds me to pray.
Yeah.
Because the Lord said, fast and pray. And inasmuch as you obey my commandments, you will be blessed.
Right.
So anyway, that's our lesson for today. And I think we learned more than we would by going to church, don't you?
Yeah. I only wish I had that book, because then we could read that. And it's very interesting.
3. This is dictation continued on August the 3rd, Sunday, while Curtis and I are enjoying ourselves here in our family room with the beautiful fire and the heat. It was only 11 above this morning. For some reason, it doesn't sound cold, but it was chilly. So we're enjoying the heat. I have to go out and get a few more boxes of wood in to keep this fire going, but in the meantime, we were talking about a marvelous work upstairs, and some angel must have put Curtis's carry bag and his books up there, because they were right there in front of my eyes. And he had this book in here called A Marvelous Work and a Wonder, and it's by LeGrand Richards. Now, I don't think I've ever read that.
I think maybe he is the grandson of Willard Richards.
Oh, he may be the grandson of Willard Richards, who was with the prophet at the time he got shot.
Yeah.
Now, it has great things in it, like one of the chapter 8 is evidences of the divinity of the Book of Mormon. And there's all kinds of wonderful chapters in here. And I love it. So I'm going to have to get a copy of this if Florence doesn't have it. Chapter 2 is the visit of the Father and the Son, Joseph's own story. Fabulous stuff. And, you know, I see that Curtis is in the middle, and he's reading Salvation and Exaltation. Now that is really deep stuff, because most people who know about the church have heard about being saved, but most of them don't even know anything about exaltation in the eternal kingdom of God. So we have to qualify for that while we're here. If we don't qualify, then we may miss the mark. And then we'll have to remember Robert Service's poem called The Men That Don't Fit In. The last verse says, he's failed, he's missed his chance. He did all things by half. The world's played a jolly good joke on him, and now's the time to laugh. So that's just a little quote from Robert Service. And Curtis and I are going to read sections of this book now for a few minutes and enjoy each other's company. Curtis and I are really fagged out. I drove him down to the Wilderness Paradise, which we call the WP, and he sat there and read for about half an hour while I came back, and I collected 4 puppy dogs. I took all the dogs down. I walked all the way down to the WP, and the dogs got there before me. They were all over him. He was sitting up on his throne. And so when I got there, we had a little chit-chat, and he said he would like to walk home with us, and the dog, and all the dogs would come along. And so we started out. Now, when we got him off the throne, it's up on a high piece of gravel. It's about 5 feet high. I got a pile of gravel there with a throne on top of it. It's made out of brocade. It's like King Louis the 17th would have, or the 14th. But anyway, I got him come across the front of the throne, and then he stepped down 2 or 3 steps, and then when he was going to take the next step onto a pile of mattresses that I had there, it was kind of springy. And one of them sprung him backwards. He lost his balance, and he pulled me right over on top of him. So, anyway, nobody got hurt. But I could tell he's about twice as heavy as me. So anyway, I can see I got to balance him better. And this time I cleared the pathway a little more, and we went around the mattresses. If you can't go over the hill, you go around it. So we got onto the path, and Curtis walked all the way home from the Wilderness Paradise, and that's up a steep hill and over many bumps in the road and curves. And when he got 3/4 of the way home, he suggested that we go into that cool room in our northwest basement area, which is about 5 feet below the ground, or 7. And anyway, it's really cool in there. So we're both going to go in there and snooze. Hopefully we can snooze for 3 or 4 hours, because we're fasting today, and it'll be very easy to snooze and fast. So we can prove to God that we are able to obey some of his commandments, especially when it comes to fasting and praying. And that's how it is at about 11:40 a.m. on Sunday morning, August the 3rd, 2003. Incidentally, all these doggies are in here with, because it's a long run for them. All 4 of them want to sleep for a while, just like us. Now this is how you dictate with the 2 of them down. And I'm sitting here on the Sunday afternoon of August the 3rd, 2003, with the beautiful, the lovely, the fabulous Chelsea Kinneard. What's the middle name?
I don't have one.
You don't have one? You mean you're handicapped?
I don't need one.
Okay. All right, so I'll admit. Now, you did have a good time at church. You did say
Yes.
that. A few of the men talked to you.
All of them.
Oh, a lot of them. And they wanted to know when we could play squash. Didn't they ask you if you were going to play squash?
Yeah, but I told him I don't know how to play.
And they said, we'll teach you.
Yeah.
Grandpa will teach you.
You and I can play shuffleboard. It's easy.
No, wait. Why would you take her into another room?
Well, it's upstairs. No, they won't. They'll come up and play shuffleboard, I'll bet. It's a very easy game. You shove this thing off the table. So anyway, I'm glad you're lining things up so that you and I can get these young men up here to play squash. That's the main point for me, because I can't lose. Even if I lose the game, I get the exercise.
Yep.
You see? And you get your joints stupid up. That's the trick. A lot of people have trouble with arthritis.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have trouble with arthritis. That's because their joints aren't lubricated. And they seize up. But if you play squash every week, everything works, you see? And people don't realize that. They're too lazy. They sit around. They become couch potatoes, frozen up with arthritis. It's kind of dumb. But anyway, you're not going to have that problem.
No.
Because you had the
I
lecture.
exercise.
And you had the lecture. And you exercise a lot. But the reason that racket sports is so good, even...
You do everything. Your
Yeah,
arms,
everything
your legs,
works. And
your
what do they
arms.
call it in the States again? Racquetball.
Yeah.
So that's what you should work on.
I have done it a few times, and I've done tennis.
Yeah, tennis
Long time
and the one with the little birdie. What's that?
Badminton.
That's the one for you.
That's fun.
You see, that's a lot of fun, and that's fast. Now, it so happens that your relative-in-law, Ryan Tondevold, is a badminton champion.
Really?
Oh, can he play that game? So
Really?
anyway, you'll have to have a contest with him someday.
I'll have to practice
He's
first.
really good, yeah. So anyway, that's a little interlude we're in. We put Chelsea's voice on here. And how old are you right now?
14.
And your birthday is when?
January 2nd.
Well, you got one coming up then. Next January.
5 months.
We'll try to be down in
December.
Mesa during your birthday.
That would be
You
nice.
see, both Lawrence and I have another pass. I use one in March. And if I use my pass in December, and she uses her pass in December, we'll be there in December, and we can come back 10 days after, even in the next year. So you see, it's usable for 10 or 15 days into the next year.
Somewhere between the middle of December and the middle of...
Well, depending on Priscilla's wedding. But we hope to see you then, and maybe at your birthday. Will that be all right?
That would be great.
Can I have some of your cake?
Of course.
Okay.
This is dedicated to Ryan Wicknick, the son of my Dad's friend at KSL Television, Mike Wicknick.
Here we go.
This is, what shall we start out with?
Star Spangled Banner.
There's a Star-Spangled Banner waving somewhere. A different version of one of our national anthems. Oops.
That's good.
That may have sounded a little shabby, I know, but we can redo it if we have to.
In the meantime, that gives you a sample of the wonderful ability of Curtis Lynn Kinneard, age 20.
And that's actually a song that was done by, who was it? It was Elton Britt.
Yeah.
It's an old country song about the
Star Spangled Banner.
it's where the patriots go to live when they die. It's a very good song. We should give you the words too if we can.
There's one that Curtis is going to play while Chelsea and her grandfather sing it. Could you put a little chord with it this time, please? Right, that's what I like. Right. You mine, all life, mine, all life soon. Will you kiss me when I'm blue? Will you whisper I love you and make all my dreams come true? Will you share the good and bad? Bring me joy when I am sad. Tell me, darling, are you mine and only mine? Are you mine?
Yes, I am.
All the time?
Yes, I am.
Mine alone?
Yes, sirree.
All my own?
Yes, sirree.
No one else will ever do. I'll be yours and I'll be true. Don't worry, dear, have no fear, 'cause I'm yours. Okay, here's our next rendition, and we're going to ask Curtis to start off with the chords, and we'll come in after you play the intro.
This is Onward Christian Soldier.
Yeah, he says it's Onward Christian Soldiers.
I want to watch the
Is that the one you want to do? I'll do that one. I'll do anyone you want.
It's nice of you to do any one, but I just want you to do what's called an intro. A short intro, please.
Are you taking what you're saying?
How about the rhythm, please?
Whoops. I'm doing it the way they did it, the way they do it in church.
Oh, I see.
The beginning and the end.
This is how he says it's done in church.
Yeah,
Well, it
you
shows
know,
you right
play
there
the-
which
Yeah.
part.
It's played that and are we gonna sing?
Onward. We're all going to start it. You just start. Onward, soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Christ the royal master leads against the foe. Forward into battle, see his banners go. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before.
I was a little behind there. Do you want to do the second?
Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Glory, laud, and honor unto Christ the King. This through countless ages, men and angels sing. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. We've had an exceptional day. 9 o'clock this morning, I was going to just go down and work on the. WP, but Eric and Joel came along, and the missionaries came along, and the four of us and Chelsea all went up there to a place called Kersley, and we had a terrific game of squash. In fact, we played 2 hours. And as a matter of fact, 2 of the missionaries beat Eric.
Hey, get that off of there.
Yeah, two of the missionaries beat Eric. Who was it?
Turner and Clark got lucky.
Yeah, Turner and Clark beat Eric. And the thing is that we come back here now, and we've been playing pool for half an hour. But in order to kill time, that's all we're going to do. We're going to go over to Rimrock Lake, and we're going to dunk Chelsea in the lake.
Don't do that.
That's her business.
Don't somebody else.
So anyway, I think Curtis and I might just take our books and we'll read,
Although,
and then we'll watch them canoe around. Could we have his books, please? You got your head on.
I do nothing for nothing.
Oh, can I negotiate? Well, Curtis made a negotiation and got his books in his pack-sack, so we're going to take the 79 Mercury over there with the canoe and the paddles. However, there is a little risk because the transmission is slipping a bit. So if we don't come back by 5, you come and rescue us, eh?
We put the bike in the back.
He was smart. He said throw a bike in the back and then one of us can drive home for another car.
I hope there's air in the tractor.
Okay.
Good, so we're away to Rimrock Lake.
One of you can come back.
Yeah, there's lots of time. Well, this is to record the fact we just got rescued by none other than Sherry Carter, who came over from Blue Lake, and at Florence's request, she came all the way out to Kuzon Lake and rescued 5 of us who were stuck there on the hill because our 79 Mercury gave up the ghost. I'll tell you about it later. We had a great supper last night. It turned out that we got into a difficult challenge because the transmission on the 79 Mercury gave out on the hill from Kuzon Lake toward home, and we left the car there over a few hours. But to get home, I had to ride the bicycle down to Kuzon Lake and use their cell phone and phone Florence. Now, the interesting thing happened that Sister Carter was looking for Joel, so she phoned here just after I had told Florence, and Florence was going to get her car out and come and rescue us, but she could not get it out of the garage on account of Eric had parked too close. So she was stuck in that position, and then when Sister Carter phoned, she agreed to come over anyway to pick up Joel. And when she got here with her beautiful Astro van, she came with Florence down all the way 7 kilometers over to Coosan Lake and rescued us. Now, it was quite a surprise to see that big red van coming down and stopping, and I didn't know what was happening, but there was Florence and Sherry Carter, and so they took us all home. And we left the car there with the canoe only. Then we had a fantastic dinner. It was some kind of a macaroni roll with all kinds of Brussels sprouts and potatoes on it. And what was it we had for meat? Oh yeah, sausages done with applesauce.
That was really good.
Pork and applesauce. It's a great combination, and even Curtis liked it. He says, oh man, he'd have that again. So when we had that fantastic meal with Joel and Eric here, then Cherry asked Joel to come with her, and so they went back to Blue Lake. And after that, we sat around and talked. Now, I had no idea that Eric was such a talker. He talked up a storm for 2 or 3 hours with Chelsea and Curtis. We did play a couple of tunes. Curtis played him a couple of tunes, but he admits he's non-musical and he doesn't even carry a tune. So we left it at 2 tunes, and yeah, it was Eric that was not too interested in singing. But he was sure interested in talking to Chelsea. So they talked in the house, and they talked out on the front steps, and we all talked, and towards 9 o'clock, it was getting dark. And I had arranged for Ian Hicks to come over here with his big Oldsmobile diesel to pull our car home. But he didn't show up. So I asked Eric if he would bring his van, and he said, sure, I told you I would. So we got 2 ropes out. No, we got 1 gold rope out with hooks on both ends, and took it back with us over to the 79 Mercury. And I had a big rope in the Mercury, so we tied the big rope onto Eric's van in 2 places behind the springs so that it would not hurt the van. And then we tied the gold rope onto our 79 Merc and hooked the 2 together. And Eric just pulled it right out of that side spot and up the hill, over the hill, and then actually we disconnected the ropes. It so happens that it was all downhill for a long way, so I coasted for about 2 kilometers down to the paved road, and then I coasted along the paved road for about a half a kilometer. Yeah, and then I found by just putting the gas on a little bit, it would engage a little bit, and it would take the car along. So it came along for about 5 or 6 kilometers until we got to Enright Road. And when we turned the corner and went to go up the hill in Enright, it just had not enough guts to pull up that hill. So we had to stop. Eric went ahead. We hooked up the ropes again, and he pulled us up the last hill and got our 79 Mercury home again. Now, isn't that quite a feat? After dark, as a matter of fact. So we waited and waited, and then about 10:30, I had to invite Eric to leave because I said we go to bed at 9:30 and it's way past our bedtime. So he was polite and he took his leave, and then we all went to bed and we slept like rocks because we had a very busy day yesterday. Curtis had such a busy day he slept until 9 o'clock today. And then when I finally got him up, we went down and we cut the fruit and we gave the dogs their treats, and we had a great big bowl of fruit and a little bit of 9-grain cereal on it in what we call a gruel. And that brings you up to date. It is now 11:14 a.m. on the 5th day of August 2003. And in fact, Florence and Chelsea have just left us, heading north to Quesnel, where they're going S&S, shopping and spending. And they did agree to do one thing, and Florence didn't even object this time. She took my little 110 film with her, and she's going to get the prints made, and I'm looking forward to all those wonderful pictures I took of Chelsea. So, when they get back, sometime around 4 to 5 o'clock, we are to have The potatoes cooked for 20 minutes. A beautiful big bowl of new potatoes, which we got from Eric Lemmy. They're all about an inch and a half, and they taste great. And when we have that with garlic butter on them, boy. Now we're also going to have fried potatoes, and we're going to have stir fry, and then we've got lovely, lovely ham. The ham is all cooked. So our job is to get the potatoes cooked on time. And in the meantime, Curtis and I are going to put some water buckets in the 84 Subaru. We're going to put a battery in the 84 Subaru. We're going to start it up, and we're going to drive down to the WP. Signing off, George Kinneard. This is just a memo that we have the missionaries here tonight, Turner and Clark, the two champions, because they beat Eric Janot. And Curtis and Chelsea are here, and Florence has made a fabulous meal of some kind of pasta. What do you call that, darling?
We call it turnip.
And it's got this pasta dish with potatoes and broccoli in it. And then we have a beautiful piece of ham. And what else? Oh, yeah, little tiny new potatoes. Now, we just finished a fabulous salad. Everybody had a big dish of that.
George, I wish you wouldn't do that.
And boy, are we happy today. Now, this is the morning of Wednesday, August the 5th, I think it is, 2003. And Curtis and I were just finishing breakfast. He got up this morning all by himself at 6:50, or maybe it was 6:30, I don't know. But he actually came out of the bedroom, and he found us in the kitchen. Yeah, Florence and I were down there in the kitchen downstairs, and Florence had already made the fire, and it was roaring in our Elmira fireplace, and it was beautiful. But Curtis could see that we were enjoying it, so he got up, and he remembered the routine. The routine is, just so that he will remember it forever, you get up and you get shaved. Now, he was able to sit in the chair. I connected the cord up, the little extension, and he sat there with the Phillips razor, and he shaved right in front of the fire. Yeah, just as comfortable as can be, feeling the warmth coming from the fire. And then when he got his face all nicely shaved and smooth, so that he's civil looking, and he feels better, then he remembered, then you got to wash your head and face. So he came into the bathroom in the basement, and he used that little white spout that we have on the end of the tap. It throws the water up into the middle of the tub, and he kneels down at the tub, bends his head over and gets it soaking wet on the back and the sides, and as he does it, he massages hard. He really rubs hard on his head, and he opens up all those pores, and he gets all the scratches and itches out. So he does that with his fingernails or his fingers and his knuckles, and he gets such a good massage on his head. There's no more itch, and he feels terrific. Then he has the towel right beside him there. It's hanging at a certain spot. So he turns off the water, and he grabs the towel and throws it over his neck, and thereby he doesn't get any water down his neck.
Even Courtney could...
Yeah, Courtney could even help him with this. She could also have the towel handy for him, because he doesn't want water down his neck. So then he gets his head dried off and his face dried off, and he feels like $1 million. However, he also wanted me to go over the ingredients of the wonderful breakfast we have, because we have all our vitamins, minerals, and enzymes, and antioxidants, and all those things that help your body operate properly. So I'm just going to run over it. First we cut up our fruit, usually into 1/4-inch size, and it's honeydew plus what's that orange stuff? Cantaloupe, and then apples, and then bananas. We put those in, and after we get all those in 1/4-inch size, then we toss in about 7 or 10 Saskatoons. They're big, juicy berries, and they actually kill. What are they called? Randoms. They have antioxidants which fire bombs at and kill off free radicals. Right, free radicals are the things that cause all the trouble in your system. And so the Saskatoons or blueberries, you can use blueberries. They're renowned. They have 13 times more antioxidants than any other fruit. And they're known as the fruit of life. So you should remember all those things to put them in there. And then, of course, once we get a bowl full of that beautiful stuff, we put about a cup of water in a frying pan. And that's kind of odd, but that's how you can see it happening. and boiling, and you bring it to a boil, and you toss in 9-grain cereal. Now, he wanted me to give you a list of these things, and he wants to remember them forever. So the cereal is made up of basically rolled oats, but then we add about, I'm making a big pot, so I always have it for a whole week. But it's got about a cup of rolled oats and then a half a cup of cream of wheat. That's very important because it's light colored and it looks like cream. And then about a half a cup of cornmeal. That's 3. And then we have a little hard wheat. We toss in a little ordinary hard wheat. And then there's barley. That's 4. And then flaxseed is 5. And we toss in any other kind of cereal that we might like. And we put that in, we only put in 3 tablespoonfuls of that into the hot boiling water. And while it's boiling, it cooks it enough in a half a minute. And you turn the heat off so that it doesn't boil over. And after it's boiled and expanded properly, then you pour that gruel. You make sure it's nice and loose and fluid. You pour that over the fruit, and it hugs the fruit. Makes it very, very palatable and enticing. Now, the way you really fix it up is you put a little bit of honey or brown sugar on your spoon, each spoonful, and you pick up a big bowl full of this life-giving fruit, and it's called eating alive because you're eating fresh fruit. Salad in the morning, salad in the evening, salad at luncheon time. Lots of fresh fruit salad will keep you right in line. Just for the record, it is now August the 7th, and I think it's a Thursday. This is a sad day in a way because Curtis and Chelsea are going to leave us tonight about 8 o'clock on the bus. They're going south over the Coquihalla Highway all through the night. They're going to get on the bus around 9. We're leaving here about 8, get on the bus around 9, and then for 6 or 7 hours or 10, they're on the bus. 9 hours sleeping on the bus. Now, it's a real challenge for anybody to do that, but they should get a little sleep because it's dark. The buses are comfortable. And around 6 a.m. they're going to arrive in Vancouver at the CNR station. The buses stop along the side of the CNR now, on the south side. And all they do is go into the station. I think they should go in and look at it because it's a beautiful big station, a train station, you see. You'll see the trains and so on. But you should go into the station and then go out the front door. And that's where the taxis are, just outside the front door. You hire a taxi, or they're going to hire a taxi and go right to the airport.